Hey everybody, and welcome back to Movies with Mia. If you're new to the channel, hi! I'm Mia Tiffany, and here we are watching the greatest classic films throughout history. Today, we are back on the case with Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes. First things first, I'd like to shout out my Golden Oscar patrons. Guys, thank you so much for your continued support of the channel. And if you're interested in exclusive content, then please check out that Patreon link in the description box below. If you're not interested in becoming a patron, why not consider buying me a movie ticket? All movie ticket donations are being raised to hire an editor, so if that sounds like something you'd be willing to support, please head on over to www.buymeacoffee.com/Mia Tiffany, and I have linked that down in the description. Today, we are watching the 10th episode in the Granada television series, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, titled The Norwood Builder. But before we exercise our powers of deduction, I do have a few random interesting fun facts that I want to share with you about the production of this series. Granada was keen on creating faithful adaptations of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock short stories. In order to achieve this, a full-scale replica of Baker Street was constructed on the outside grounds of Granada Studios in Quay Street, Manchester. At one point, it became the central attraction of the Granada studio tours before closing in 1999. Additional filming locations used for this series included Adlington Hall, Cheshire, Taden Hall, Cheshire, and Croxteth Hall, Liverpool. Hopefully I pronounced that all right. I apologize to my UK viewers out there if I didn't. But it would be really cool to know if any of you have either toured these areas or maybe live by these areas. I don't know, it'd be really interesting to hear some of your stories about some of these filming locations. So if you're willing, please let me know in the comments. I would love to read about it. With that being said, this is my first time watching The Norwood Builder, and I am so excited to jump in. But before we do, y'all know the deal. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification to stay in the loop. Alright everyone, it is time to grab your snacks, grab your drinks, get cozy, and let's get in to The Norwood Builder. I guess I never really thought about the fact that this could be a literal, construction specifically for this series. I mean, obviously, right? Because where are you gonna find, a period, street? Ooh, is that fire? Oh, it's fire. She's just casually watching all of these things on fire. Maybe she was just, awoken by it, and then, that's how she noticed it? Or was she just watching it the whole time? I don't know. Is it going to reach the house? Oh, it already has reached the house. And it's called the Norwood Builder, so clearly it has something to do with, building things, right? Duh. Is that a skeleton? Wait, what? Okay, wait, now I'm intrigued.
London has become a singularly uninteresting city. The community is the gainer and no one the loser, save the poor specialist.
Well, I hardly think you'll find many citizens to agree with you.
Obviously, we know that Moriarty is, a worthy opponent of Sherlock Holmes. So I always, try to find little Easter eggs whenever he's like, oh, I'm so bored, I don't know. Is that just me, or do you guys do the same thing? I don't know, let me know.
If I fail to see him now, it will be too late. Mr. Holmes! I'm sorry, but I'm nearly out of my mind.
Tell us who you are and what it is that you want.
I also felt like they were shooting at a different angle in the street, which is interesting that they decided to do that.
Beyond the obvious facts that you are a bachelor and a Freemason and an asthmatic, I know nothing about you whatever.
Untidy clothes, sheaf of legal papers, and your somewhat irregular breathing.
It's for these reasons, we know you. I love how he explained the deductions.
I am at this moment the most unfortunate man in London.
Last night, a small timber yard caught fire belonging to Mr. Jonas Oldacre, and it became apparent that he had disappeared.
The fact that he's sweaty with all those clothes on makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm do you need a handkerchief to dab yourself? I don't know. A fan maybe?
An examination of his room revealed a heavy walking stick with stains of blood upon the handle.
If they arrest me, make them give me time.
Arrest you?
Of murdering Mr. Jonas Oldacre.
Oh no. So he's been accused of murder. He's like, this is interesting.
The victim was clubbed to death. Mr. Oldacre received a visitor last night. The stick has been identified as belonging to that person, John Hector McFarlane.
Okay, so he owned the stick, but that doesn't mean he did the crime. He could have misplaced the stick.
I knew nothing of this affair until I was on the train to my office this morning. I saw the terrible danger of my position and hurried to put the case in your hands.
He's like, I ran to you because I didn't want them to arrest me first. You must work on my case.
Inspector Lestrade.
Mr. Holmes?
This young gentleman was about to give us an account of this very interesting affair. I would be much interested in hearing.
You should hear the absolute truth.
I feel like it's always tricky to frame 3 actors in a scene, and the way that it has been done in this episode and the one before that has been pretty innovative, really.
But what you say now will appear in evidence against you.
I knew nothing of Mr. Jonas Oldacre. My parents were acquainted with him. Yesterday afternoon, he walked into my office in the city.
Yeah, I love the fact that they are using these long shots. It really allows the actor to express a full range of emotion for the audience. I think that's really cool.
This is a draft of my will.
His entire estate had been left to me.
I was a builder, an extremely successful one. I knew your mother and hoped to marry her.
I knew it. It's a love thing. Yeah, I'm really loving the camera work of this episode.
I read of your father's death. My mind turned to the son who might very well have been my own. This is my way of securing your future.
Oh, that's sweet, I guess. Kind of strange, but sweet.
What can I say? But thank you.
I shan't rest easy till the whole thing's settled.
Yes.
Come to my house tonight. Not a word of this to your dear mother. I want it to be a little surprise for her.
That's a huge surprise if you ask me. So yeah, there's no motive right now of him possibly killing this man. Nothing that arises suspicion other than possibly feelings towards, you know, the whole father situation. I don't know.
I have an appointment with Mr. Oldacre.
Mr. McFarlane?
Yes, that's right. The house itself had a peculiar, unloved feeling.
You brought the papers?
Yes, indeed.
Excellent.
This housekeeper is giving me Mrs. Danvers vibes, so she's on my radar right now. And the fact that she was looking so nonchalantly at the fire...
I had a stick with me. It belonged to my father.
Never mind, I'll take good care of it. I shall be seeing a great deal of you now, I hope.
Indeed you shall, sir. I left him there.
I feel like to accuse him of killing the man whose name, I'm sorry, I forgot already, I'll get it, don't worry, is a little bit like presumptuous, I guess. I mean, yes, him being there and then also his walking stick is significant evidence, but I don't think it's enough to like arrest him for murder.
Do you have the original draft of the will?
Why, yes, sir.
May I retain this for 24 hours, Inspector?
If it would amuse you. There's a four-wheeler waiting.
It's interesting to see how the faithful adaptation really highlights these characters versus a more modern adaptation of Sherlock. Oh, God.
There are certain points about this document, are there not, Watson?
I know that he can solve this case. I mean, how many episodes have we seen where he solved the case? Come on.
The writing in between is very bad. What do you make of it?
That it was written on a train.
But it's curious that a man should draw out a document in so haphazard a fashion.
Oh, yeah. Unless he knew that he was going to die.
This case is not clear to me. Come, Watson.
He's all excited by that. He's like, yes, finally.
Where are we going, Norwood?
Blackheath! Come!
Okay. So what if he knew that he was going to die? Or he suspected someone had planned his murder or something? I don't know.
My son's the gentlest creature on God's earth. He didn't even know the man, Mr. Holmes.
But you did, Mrs. McFarlane.
Years ago, I'd forgotten that he ever existed.
She's in mourning. She's wearing mourning clothes. I suppose because the father just recently died, huh?
It's impossible to quite forget a man like Jonas Oldacre. At one time we were engaged, and the more I came to realize, there was a dark side to his character, Mr. Holmes. A desire to cause pain.
This case is getting more and more interesting. So he's not this good man that we originally thought in the beginning.
My own photograph. It was my first present to him. That was how it was returned to me on my wedding day.
And yet he does seem to have forgiven you, to leave his entire estate to your son.
So what if he planned his death to pin it on her son as a way to get back at her for not marrying him? What if that's a thing? Whoa, that just changed the game. I'm not gonna lie.
Have you ever spoken of Oldacre to your son?
No, never.
Never?
It's like, I know you're lying.
He found the photograph. He was upset, naturally.
Oh no. He was motivated to kill the man because of the situation with his mom.
If he had heard of Oldacre's behavior, their case against him would be considerably strengthened.
There is a God in heaven, and that same God will show my son's hands are guiltless of his blood.
I don't know now. The motive is starting to become a little murky. I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm nervous to see what happens.
Mr. Holmes, trouser button. Hyams was the name of Mr. Oldacre's tailor. Poor devil was no more than bone and cinder.
Thank heavens he was wearing his trousers.
Thank you for the slight comedic relief there, Watson.
The stick belongs to the accused. He's never denied it.
I suppose all these papers are from the safe.
Correct. We have opened one or two, as you can see.
May I check them?
By all means.
Please do. He's gonna find something that your experts didn't see.
Oh, and I would like to see the housekeeper.
She'll add nothing more to what you already know.
Nevertheless.
Send her in.
Just let me talk to the freaking housekeeper. Jeez, Inspector Lestrade or Lestrade.
You wish to see me, sir?
Yes, Mrs. Lexington. Do you know anything about these papers?
I know nothing of Mr. Oldacre's private affairs.
You have been most cooperative.
Now go. I love it. Nothing is pointing to anything. Everything is all scattered.
What do you make of her?
Tight as wax, if you ask me.
It's all wrong. I feel it in my bones. Something has not come out. And that woman knows it.
Something's off. What's that thing that connects everything together? It's missing.
Would you like me to have a look at these papers?
Please do.
Thank you, Watson. It's all right, Constable. I'll watch them.
I don't know. My theory is still that he had arranged it so that the son looked like he did it. And then he could have also faked his death, but I don't know why he would have done that. Like, that would have been strange. I think that was sort of like a map or something of the blueprints of the house, maybe? Or the outline of the windows of the house, possibly? Oh? Did Watson find something? Ooh, it looks like Watson found something too in his accounts.
There are certain cross-references to valuable deeds, none of which I can find. His bank account was practically empty. He had made several large payments to a certain Mr. Cornelius.
Oh, whoa, Mr. Cornelius. Okay, so now we know he's not as affluent as we were led to believe. Still isn't clicking and ringing any bells yet.
I'll stay here for a while. Find an undesirable lurking about.
They'll get nothing here.
You don't believe in supporting our less fortunate...
I work, so can they.
She is stiff, but I suspect she knows something. Is that a potato? Oh, Sherlock.
Nice to meet a friend of mine here. Oh, you might know him. He's a seafaring man.
He's in one of his wonderful disguises. I'm gonna get some information from this man.
I know him. Stay clear of him. He's a liar. He goes up to that big house, he does. Tells some yarn about them, telling him to come back tomorrow and they'll give him some grub and some cast-offs for him.
I love how he gets ready so quickly. Like, where did you find all this makeup to make yourself look undone? Oh, he's disheveled.
You must permit yourself some food.
At present, I cannot afford. I fear that our case will end by Lestrade hanging our client.
Oh, that does not sound good. He's not confident about the end of this case. Is this going to be one of those episodes where we have just that one moment of defeat? That's going to be so annoying. No, there has to be something.
Have some breakfast, then go out together and see what we can do.
I shall need your company and moral support today.
Doubting himself in this case. I mean, where would Sherlock be without Dr. people like Dr. Watson?
We're just a little in front of you this time. I'm sure I can convince you that it was John McFarlane.
Something is gonna open like a frickin' soda can. You know what, Inspector Lestrade? He's too frickin' cocky. You haven't won yet, bro. Chill out.
Now look at this. A thumb mark in blood.
Oh, he did put a thumb mark on that seal.
Identical.
Definitely the same thumb mark.
Sweet niblets. Yeah, that is pretty substantial evidence.
There is no doubt that the mark was there yesterday.
McFarlane could have crept out of jail in the middle of the night.
The objection if I take a stroll upstairs.
There's nothing up there, though.
I'll be the judge of that. Thank you, Inspector. God, I don't like the cockiness of Lestrade. Look at her. She looks scared. What is it? What is it? I love the score in this episode.
There is a serious flaw in this new evidence. That thumbprint was not there when I examined the hall yesterday. Inspector Lestrade, there is an important witness that you have not yet seen.
I don't know, guys. I feel like someone is framing this kid. But the question is why? It all goes back to the mom, maybe?
You can produce this witness, can you?
I'll do my best. How many constables have you?
3 within call.
They are able-bodied, large men with powerful voices.
I love the look that Sherlock gives Lestrade. Are you about to reenact something?
In the outhouse, there is a quantity of straw. I would like 2 bundles brought in. And 2 buckets of water. Ask them to bring it to the top landing.
Yes. Yes, please. And thank you, Inspector Lestrade.
The straw. 2 buckets of water to that side.
Mr. Holmes.
He's like, shh, shh. It's my turn now.
I can assure you, Lestrade, I have an excellent reason for everything. Would you put a match to that straw? We must see if we can find this witness for you.
Wait, what? Is there someone, like, hiding behind the walls?
Would you please join me in the call of fire? Fire! Fire! We can do better than that.
Oh my god. It's freaking Oldacre! I suspected maybe he could have faked his own death. I thought it was crazy, though, for him to do that.
Allow me to present you with your missing principal witness.
Oh my...
What have you been doing all this time?
I've done no harm.
No harm?
You faked your own
You've only
death.
done your best. Take him.
Oh my god, and I literally said him faking his own death was, like, idiotic. I like how he was like, fire! It's funny.
He was able to fix up his own little hiding place.
How did you know about that place, Mr. Holmes?
I deduced that this fireplace wall was false.
That is amazing. I need to know the story. I feel like it goes back to the mom.
How in the world did you know that he was in the house at all?
The thumb mark, Lestrade.
The
After
seal.
MacFarlane had examined the
seal.
papers that night, it suddenly struck Oldacre what use he could make of that thumbprint.
That is so dumb. What a freaking snake, bro.
What was the object of his deception?
In order to swindle his creditors, Oldacre paid out several large sums to a Mr. Cornelius. Messrs. Oldacre and Cornelius are one and the same person.
He had to die. Oh my gosh, so this is just simple swindling case.
Did you know that he was once refused by MacFarlane's mother? Murdered by the only child of his former sweetheart.
I would never have allowed any real harm, I assure you.
You were about to put him in jail for a crime he didn't do.
That's for the jury to decide.
For a joke, it's nothing more than a practical joke.
There's nothing...
Do you know how much money the Scotland Yard probably just spent on this freaking investigation for it to be a joke? Like, come on, bro. Let's use our noggin. Jeez.
The body in the fire. An old sailor, Lestrade. The man received some of Oldacre's clothing. I found the calling card that he left, advising his fellow travelers of a charitable welcome.
Oh, that's what that was. So the man was the old sailor they were talking about when Sherlock was incognito.
The next morning, wearing his new clothes, he returned.
Bro, that's hardly a joke.
You've saved an innocent man's life, Mr. Holmes.
Wow, so they preyed on him, on his misfortunes.
You've also saved me embarrassment.
Make a few alterations to that report which you are writing.
You don't want your name to appear?
Not at all.
His work is its own reward.
His work is its own reward. And that's why we love Sherlock.
I'll see you hanged for this.
That privilege must
serious?
surely be mine.
That was not smart. That made me angry. He said it was a joke. I was like, that was not a joke. You could have cost a man his life. All for some revenge and to escape some creditors. That's so dumb. I mean, brilliantly written, but just a dumb crime. Just not smart. That was such a good episode. I really enjoyed that. I loved going on the ride with Sherlock and just being completely like blown away at the end there. I suspected it was something where I didn't want to think that he had like faked his own death because I was like, okay, like why would you do that? But I knew it had something to do with the getting revenge on the mom for like marrying a better man than him, which like I said is so dumb. Like, come on, bro. Just get over it and find someone else. I don't know. Anyway, I really loved that episode and I loved how at the beginning they showed us like sort of one side of this man, or the way that this man was appearing, Oldacre, how he was like this charitable man who was like, I want to give you my fortune, which was a red flag, by the way, because why would you give your entire fortune to the son of a woman who didn't marry you? Like, that's a red flag. Like, I knew it was a little strange. I was like, come on, that's a little strange. But of course, the young man relented because it's like a very sweet, hospitable thing. But then we find out that this man is not hospitable. He's literally a monster who just likes to joke with Scotland Yard and people's lives. Still kind of triggered about that. But yeah, what I also loved about this was the fact that I liked the camera work in this episode. There was a lot longer shots, so the actors kind of had more time to sort of go through sort of more emotions of their characters to kind of give more evidence to their audience. I really appreciated that in the camera work, and then I loved the use of the score in this, how it kind of hyped up the investigation when Sherlock was looking around the garden and then when he was in the house. I really liked the use of music in this as well. But yeah, this was a fantastic episode. I really enjoyed it. I cannot wait to watch the next episode. And I think we are like 3 episodes away from the end of this first series or season. So yes, I'm very excited. Guys, thank you so much for watching it with me. All right, everyone, that does it for this video. As always, if you liked it as much as I did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to become an official Tiffany Club member, then please hit that subscribe button and that bell notification to stay in the loop. If you would like to see this episode's full reaction, it is up on my Patreon, as well as our Flick Pick polls, which I'm actually starting up again. We are going to be watching mobster films, so if you want to get in on any of those video polls, please head on over to my Patreon. I also hold MWM live watch parties, where every other Saturday night at 6 p.m. Arizona time, we come together and we watch one classic film live via Zoom. If that sounds like something that interests you, then please check out that Patreon link in the description box below. In our next video with Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes, we are going to be watching episode 11, The Resident Patient, which sounds really interesting. I'm excited to watch that. If you have not seen The Resident Patient, then please check it out before watching the reaction, and I have provided a link of where I bought my physical copy of the first season of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes down in the description, so check that out. If you don't know what I've reacted to on the channel, don't worry, I do have a letterboxd account under the handle at Mamma Mia Tiffany. There you will find a list of all of the movies I've reacted to on the channel. While you're on social media, why not follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Movies with Mia, and on Instagram and TikTok at movieswithmia_. As always, guys, this is such a pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll see you, boo, in the next video. Bye, everyone. Make sure I'm like center and you can see my beautiful, gorgeous face. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. I feel like I talk fast, and I'm trying to talk slower. Okay. If you're not quite interested in becoming a patron, however you still want to support the channel, why not consider buying me a movie ticket? I said buying again. I felt it. I felt my mouth say it. I don't know if it looks like I said it in the camera, but I know that I said it. So we're gonna do it again. Taddon? Do you say Tatton or Taddon? Is it a glottal stop? I feel like it's a glottal stop. I have a little bit of space that I can use to do this little loop. If you don't know what I've reacted to on the channel, don't worry. Weary? I said weary. Don't weary. I'm so smiley today. Smile, smile, pop, 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 smile. And I look really pretty. Like from right here where I'm looking in the screen, I look freaking gorgeous, okay? I'm just gonna put that out there. Self-empowerment, that's okay. I'm not being cocky, I'm being confident, and that's fine, right? I guess. All right, guys, bye.